Hey, welcome back to the Culturalist Podcast Conversations with Pam Ross. I am Pam Ross. And as promised, here's part two of the conversation that I had with Dr. Andrea Little Mason as we were looking at four women in the Bible who really don't get a lot of spotlight time, but who taught us how to get our whole lives. Andrea is a brilliant theologian who I met probably about 30, close to 30 years ago. And she's really quite amazing. I hope that you're going to love her as much as I do. If you missed the first one, go back and listen to that, or you can listen to it after that. You really don't have to have one before the other. But I do want you to know that there's a resource available for you over on Patreon. You can download this 4-part Bible study specifically about these women in the Bible. Gather some friends together and have your own conversation after you listen to ours. So here it is, me with Dr. Andrea. Hi, I'm Pam Ross, the Culturalist. I love good conversations with interesting people. In this podcast, we use the art of conversation to explore what's happening in culture. Thanks for joining us. We are back with the amazing Dr. Andrea Little Mason. How you doing, lady?
Hey!
Yeah, you are one of those people that stirs me up. You know, when you have conversations with some people and they just get you so excited about the word of God and or even just about purpose and yeah, you're one of those people. I'm so, ma'am, when I tell you, I don't know if you planned it or if I planned it or if it was just God, but I'm so glad you're in Florida.
Yes.
Even
Well,
though
man,
you're not just around the corner, but you're close enough that you can get here. So I just love that. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I
And
love it too.
yeah, so our last episode, we were looking at these four women, often undiscussed, not really preached on a lot, and not really long books and things written about them, but so much leadership principles, so many cultural implications into who they were and what they did and why we need to celebrate them. And so we had this phenomenal conversation. If y'all don't know how the origin story of these two episodes, go back to the first episode, watch that one, and then you can catch up with this one. But basically, my team sent me these carousels. I got so excited. I thought, I want to talk to somebody about this. And so you were gracious enough to say, yes,
Yes.
jump on a Zoom. I wanted you on a Zoom because I wanted you to see, what they had done. And so the whole idea of you recording the conversation, and then out of that, we produced a women's Bible study. And
Yep.
really anybody can study it, but I love the picture that I hold in my heart are groups of women. Doesn't have to be big, it can be big or small, but groups of women having real conversations around the stories of these four women. So you can get your copy of that Bible study on our Patreon account. We'd love for you to have it. And take a picture and tag the Culturalist podcast and let us know how you're enjoying your conversation. I know. So we looked at, let me get back to these. We looked at Huldah, who was the
Hmm.
advisor, and then we looked at the midwives, which those are your people because you are a birth worker and a trainer of birth workers. And this idea of being an expert and the expert consultant and the midwife sounds like you and me. But now we're
Oh,
looking at now we're looking at this
the
amazing
past.
yes, this amazing apostle, Priscilla, and the team describes her as quiet power. Quiet power. And here's why. She helped correct a gifted preacher named Apollos. And the point is, you can refine gifted people without humiliating them. He was preaching something that was not current truth, And so she kind of went to him not kind of, she went to him privately and she said, "Hey, have you heard?" And this is the upgrade I want to give you. And the principle that they listed here says correct in private, strengthen in public. And the thing I love about Priscilla is one of the things that I love to teach is something called correct correction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that her femininity, I think the fact that she was Jesus in the feminine, we're all a reflection of him in some way, right?
Come on.
I
Come
think
on.
that, yeah, and her ability to say, to see he's not, to see what he's trying to do. It kind of goes back to that nuance we were talking about, to see what he's trying to do and then help you accomplish what you're trying to do with the correction that you need it privately. Thoughts on Priscilla, ma'am?
Honey, once again, I'm trying not to scream. I think you just said something that stood out to me. You said Jesus in
Yes.
the feminine. And
Yeah.
what's amazing is how often the things that we would say are Christ-like are
Yeah.
often those things that are most contemplative, those
Yeah.
that are not as so like we make a big deal out of, oh, he went in the temple and he
Yes,
talked
we do,
about,
don't we?
but most of what we talk about when we talk about the love of Christ and all those things come forth as these things that should be very natural to us.
Right.
It should be very natural to
But
us.
sometimes we hide them because we want to be seen as super strong.
And who's telling us that that's what super strong
Who's
is?
telling us that that's what super strong is? Because I think it took super strength for her
Exactly.
not to call him out in public.
Listen, I know this
Because
is
she
not,
could have been like, coming to the mic.
let me tell you, I
You're
often
wrong. I said she could have. She could have
no,
gotten a little bit of
no,
reputation of being the one who shows up at your church and tell you that you.
or better yet, today I'm going to be responding to the message I heard preached by
Oh
Pastor.
my gosh. Yes. Let me show a clip of him. And
I'm
after
going
you
to
watch
show a
this
clip,
clip.
and I'm going to see you on the other side of the clip.
Oh,
I'm going to see you on the other side. Yeah. Now, don't be deceived by what you
uh-huh.
hear. I know some of you, you know,
Yes. But he was wrong. And I need to let y'all know. And then I'll go viral because he's famous. Because it was his audience. It was
so
Apollo's.
so come on now. So since we're being real about it, since we're
He was
talking real,
yeah. Yeah, he was the one
I go
talking.
viral. I get clout
Yes.
for checking this person or
Because they're famous. If you check someone who's not famous, you don't get a lot of clout.
but what did they say about Apollos?
Uh-huh. He said, meanwhile, a Jew named Apollos, a native of Alexandria, came to Ephesus, and he was a learned man.
Because
And
in
since not,
Alexandria was the library. That's where everything
yes,
was. That's where all of the people went
he was
to
very
study.
smart.
You study in Alexandria.
Yes,
That's what you
yes.
do there. It was a place where they came together from the west and the east
Oh
and the
my
south.
my.
Everybody came together in Alexandria, Egypt. So he was a learned man.
He was a learned man. Yes, that's exactly what it says. With a thorough knowledge of scriptures, very knowledgeable.
So
And he had been instructed in the way of the Lord. I mean,
so
look at this guy. This guy is pretty impressive.
he's extremely impressive.
Yeah, he's a learned
And
man, thorough knowledge of the scripture. He'd been instructed in the way of the Lord. I know I'm gonna let you interject before I go on with his
ah,
description. And now look, he spoke with great fervor. So he was a captivating preacher, and he taught about Jesus accurately. So he had a foundation of truth, though he knew only of the baptism of John. So he's preaching about Jesus and he's saying, be baptized for the repentance of your sin. And he began to speak boldly in the synagogue. So here he is speaking boldly, and it's in the synagogue. And when we think about where would Priscilla had been normally in the synagogue, not in a front row seat, right? When Priscilla and Aquila heard him, they invited him to their home. Now, see, I'm so happy about this. I could do a whole flip. I'm like you. I want to explore. They sat in church. They listened to him. They didn't say, we coming to your house. They said, why don't you come to our house? We're barbecuing today. They invited him to the cookout. And they explained to him the way of God. And the Bible says more adequately.
More accurately.
Yeah.
There's a wisdom. There's a wisdom in knowing when you have nothing to prove.
Now, see, that's it right there. Is that it? Is that the whole point?
That's the whole point.
I don't
because
have
guess what?
To prove.
Yeah. If I don't have anything to prove, then actually I can tell this person, and even if they don't receive what I say,
I can keep it moving.
I can be okay. Because the word
and I'm
says
not picking fights with people
plants,
who are sincere.
One plants, another waters.
God gives the increase.
So I'm not stuck on whether I get recognition for this. I don't have to do this publicly. I'm not chasing clout because I took down the mighty Apollos. Yeah, ha ha. Because
he thought he was preaching something because he thought he knew something, Mr. Learned.
Okay, later on, that he was I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollo, I'm of this. So he wasn't a small fry, baby.
Oh, he was big time. He was like a denominational leader.
Oh my goodness.
He was big time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's one of those things where it's like when it comes down to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was really about her motive is what it was showing us. But the reason I think why it caught my eye is again, because of the cultural context that female apostles.
Let's talk about that.
The female apostles were new. It was a newer concept for people. Christianity was new. So of course, one of the stark differences in Christianity and what everyone was used to was the honor placed on women and the partnership of male and female. And so what a great opportunity. She could have justified it. She could have said, this is one of the things that's stuck in their craw about us. And I'm going to prove, how we can, come on now. You know how we can exalt ourselves and say we're exalting God.
Exactly.
But
the Lord told me, God told me.
That y'all needed to see a woman correct him. So now all of y'all can, God, no, sit down, ma'am. That's not it. Yeah.
It's also when you see it's Priscilla.
Yeah. Yes. Even the way her name is first, which was a whole big deal. I started studying female apostles. A student in a leadership class gave me a book because at the place where I was teaching, I ain't dare tell nobody nothing about no apostleship, right? And so a student in one of my leadership classes gave me a book, and it was on female. It was on Junia.
I was gonna say Junia. It had to be.
It was on Junia, and then it went on to describe some others who had churches in their homes and how women were actively involved in the fivefold ministry. But it was really phenomenal. And the author mentioned how her name listed first was a big deal. Maybe not a big deal to us because of our culture.
I find that it's still a big deal to some, and they justify it in many different ways.
Oh, you're right.
Make sure
you are right.
It's not that you thinking that she mean nothing.
Right. It's not Pam and PJ. It's PJ and Pam.
It's PJ and Pam. Okay. Get that together. Okay.
Yeah, get it together.
But and even Junia, they up until a couple of 100 years ago had made it Junia.
Yes.
Changed the spelling.
So surely it couldn't have been. Therefore, it must have been. But we make assumptions about God. And Jesus was so clear, though.
Let me just say,
he was so clear on pouring out his spirit on all flesh, male and female.
Exactly.
Like he was really clear about it. And then why are we still cloudy?
Sons and daughters prophesying.
Yes.
All of it. Right? I just want to offer something here.
Please do.
As part of my studies and this is where the cultural thing really kicked in for me, to look at how the Bible moved from place to place. One of
Yeah.
the things that we must understand, even down to our personal culture, I told you,
Yes.
for me, when I tell people how you can see your difference between your culture and someone
Yeah.
else, not where they grew up, but like their personal experience, exposure,
Hmm.
expertise, environment, and education, those
Yeah.
things will tell you a lot about how that person sees life.
Wow.
But when we're talking about culture in general, you cannot,
Hmm.
don't mistake, don't think that every place that the scriptures have passed through, that it hasn't been interpreted based on their culture. For
Yeah.
example, it was, I believe it was the Greeks. They were patriarchal. They had
Yes.
a very strong patriarchal kind of thing. Same
Hmm.
thing when you get to the Romans. So with the Greeks and the Romans, you're literally talking about like, this is the man's household. That's where that thing, this is
Right.
the man's household.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
woman is the property of, like, and you can go and find all kinds of
Yes.
things that they could do
Yes.
to the women in
Right.
those cultures. I didn't say, I'm saying in that culture. So what
Right.
happens when the Bible passes through the scriptures, because it wasn't the Bible,
Ooh.
when the scriptures pass through Greece, it's written
Yeah.
in Greek. All right, here we go. Well, this must mean this.
Oh, my.
Okay, now the Romans get, and it passes through Rome. And what is that? Imperialism.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Oh,
Constantine and all
yeah.
them were like, I am
Yes.
that, you know, okay,
Hmm.
hierarchy. So
Yeah.
there, the bishops and the popes and all of that didn't even really exist before that.
No.
It was when they saw, because they were in a culture where we
Yep.
respect hierarchy.
So
So who's
they
in
poured
charge
it
here?
into, they
Do you
poured
see?
it into their containers,
Into the,
and it took the shape.
the Pam
It
Ross,
took the
listen,
shape of their
come,
containers. Ma'am.
I've been trying to say this neatly, and you gave me all the words at one time. You know how long I've been trying to say this without taking 25 minutes? Listen, it went from Rome, it went to Western Europe. That's
Yeah.
really like when we talk about even imagery we have of hell and things,
Yes. Oh,
and
yeah.
Dante's Inferno and
Oh,
and
yeah.
and and things of that time. When we, even they'll say the dark ages when God wasn't speaking because of what was
Hmm.
going on at the time. But the morality, the different things about, like, it became a lot more intense in their
My.
container,
In their container.
in their container. So the question I was asking, I was like, listen here. I was like, why is it though that European countries, they can see women in leadership? They can, I mean, some of them have
Oh,
women
yeah. Prime
presidents,
Minister, yeah,
everything, no
President.
problem. I went on, and when you see Christianity then pass through to the United States, and we know how the
Yeah,
United States was formed and everything,
absolutely.
it was a lot of the frontier. It was a
Hmm.
lot of, listen, we're out here pulling ourselves up by our own bootstraps. It's a
Hmm.
lot of, this is my land. This is, I'm
Yes.
dominant.
Oh, yeah.
And
Manifest
this
destiny.
manifest destiny. And this country has not seen women
No.
lead. Now, if you go to Europe, you got Queen Elizabeth, you got
Oh,
the
yeah.
other Queen Elizabeth,
The
you got
Prime
Queen Mary.
Minister was of England for years. Margaret
Hundred,
Thatcher.
they have had leadership be women for hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years.
Hundreds. Not a
Yes.
new thing at all. Why? What happened over here? What is it that we're contending with? Which is why I'm walking through it like this. What are we contending with that others might not? Because this container we are in
Yes.
has a thing where in this container, added on to all of whatever was with the Greeks, and then how
Yeah.
and the Romans and the West. Now we're here, and all we know is women. What? We don't.
Under.
This year is
Subsistence.
250 years of this country's
Yeah.
existence.
Yes.
There is no history here of women leading in that
Yep.
capacity
In 250
in
years
250
on a
years.
national scale.
But way before the US was a thing, hundreds of years ago. So this container in some ways stripped because of what
Yes. So when the gospel of equality, when the gospel was poured into this container called the USA,
the USA,
it was the parts about equality had to be reshaped
girl,
in order for us to make it fit into who we are. Rather, when it was sent here to transform us and make us and shape us into the full measure of Jesus, we're trying to shape Jesus and his gospel into the measure of us.
because that's what culture does.
That is. That's why we say culture will trump vision. Culture will eat up, honey. If you don't shift your culture to align it to the kingdom, you will be worshiping at the feet of something that don't look nothing like Jesus.
And how can you identify? How would you say, when I look at this at Priscilla with her
Yeah.
husband,
Yes.
okay?
Working
So
together,
this
serving
is
together.
working together. Come on, serving together.
Yeah.
Come on. Apollos didn't say, I'll listen to your husband, but not to you. Come on. It's right here. But
It's
we
right
sit and
there.
we will have conversations and discussions. How do I know? Because I torture myself on this.
Ma'am. And there's even, do you know, there's even still a discomfort, and you almost feel like you have to, not almost. So many women feel like they have to give an explanation.
You have this is what we said last time, and I'm saying it again. Look, what are the other things that are not being discussed? It's not being discussed that Apollos didn't have a problem with it.
You don't have a problem with it.
He did not, it did not say, because trust me, it would have just said, it would not have said, it would have been the elder. It would have been the man.
Right. Yes. Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like when we're looking at things, what is not, what we get so locked in to
Man, oh
having the word
man.
broken down for us and you need the milk, that's fine. But when you start noticing things that have not been taught, it's not to say you don't listen, you don't whatever, but you need to be rightly dividing the word of truth yourself.
Right.
And when it comes to women in the Bible, and what we have been doing as women all throughout time.
All throughout time,
When you
which
find
is the
yourself,
kingdom normal. Very normal.
it's normal.
There's nothing exceptional about it.
There's
It
nothing
should not be
unique.
remarkable.
It should not. We should not even be talking about like, oh, we
And
found
she
another.
was a woman and she gave the correction.
But we're so excited. I feel the same way. Like we were talking before about the magical Negro and the ones, twice
Yes.
as hard and stuff. I have this thing. I don't like to hear people say the first so and so, so
Mm-mm.
10, the first this and that. And because what it means is that you're starting your history
Right.
wherever oppression started for you. And
Yes.
so if it's the first black something, I tend to
Mm-hmm.
be one of those people that's like, honey, in this country, let's just
That's
say
it's
the
like
first,
honey, we've been fabulous.
we've been
Honestly,
fabulous.
honestly, no shade. No shade on Vice President Harris. Shirley Chisholm could have been a great vice president.
You understand? Do you
Just
way back in the
it was
day?
not us. It was
It,
y'all.
it
So
was
it has nothing to do. So this whole concept of remember that's why I was saying language matters. The first person
the
allowed,
allowed.
the first graduate of whatever university, the first woman to fly an airplane at this particular,
We
the
just
first
don't.
allowed to do. Because
And
trust me and believe, there have been
and then
many.
when you're talking about women in entrepreneurship, we do that
Mm-hmm,
same thing again. We do that. The first woman
mm-hmm,
apostle, if you're in the Bible, the first woman
mm-hmm.
ordained in this church, the
Oh
first
yeah.
whatever.
Oh
As
yeah.
if God has not been ordaining women throughout
Mhm.
history.
Because he said,
As
before I formed you, I
I,
knew you.
I
I
knew
called you,
you
I
and
ordained
I
you.
ordained you.
So they've been here.
I've
We
been
just
here.
the first one we've recognized. Can
The first one
we
that's
say
been
that?
allowed.
The first one has been allowed.
And that's important for us because you're right. The
Yeah.
language of it will matter. What you say about yourself.
It matters. It
If you,
matters.
if for you, it is, wow, I feel so proud of myself. That check this, Pam. I'm proud of myself. I'm the first Black woman, so I can't fail because if I mess up, everyone, what just happened? What happened? Where do
What?
we
Well,
go?
let me, and I've been in that seat.
What?
I have been in that seat. You got to do everything right, or they won't hire another one. Hey guys, it's Pam Ross. I want to invite anyone out there who is a church staffer or you're a key volunteer in your church to head over to Patreon and check out the Lead Well Premium level. We're going to give you my entire self-paced library, every webinar, every course, every PDF, every example for your access. And you can learn what you want at the pace that suits you. In addition to that, we're also going to give you some live Q&A, some coaching calls. We're going to give you a beautiful community of other people that serve at their churches. We're so excited. My entire team is excited about loading this up. So go over to Patreon, look for the Culturalist podcast, and check out what's available at the Lead Well premium level so you can build, connect, and lead well. I have been in that seat. You got to do everything right or they won't hire another one. But why do I have to take that on?
Why do I have to take on that?
What? That's your issue.
As a
That's
story?
your issue.
That's,
You want to assign that to my gender, but that's your issue. I
and
don't have to be, I don't have to be perfect for you to call me average.
hello. And I heard a theologian, a female theologian, say once. She said, "For so many of us, we work so hard at being excellent
Whew.
that if we would just look," and it was funny because the people were like, "Oh, I can't do that." She said, "If you would just look, and instead of aiming for the A plus, just aim at C. Just get the
Yes,
C.
you'll be
Your
all
C
right.
is excellent. Like you
Let me
just
tell
so
you,
extra.
something.
You're
If
so
there's one
extra.
thing, he's so extra. Well, let me
You
tell you
know,
something. If there's one thing this administration has taught us, and if you listen to this podcast, y'all know where I stand. I believe in integrity and honesty, so y'all know. If there's one thing this administration has taught us, they ain't talking about nothing. Wait a minute. The woman doesn't have a medical license, and you want her to be our nation's surgeon general. But then if she looked like me, she would have to have 5 degrees and 30 years of experience.
and 30 years of experience. 30. It's like
You're
you.
realizing, oh, this was all a joke. This is all a
Yes.
joke. It
And
was
that,
never about like, wait, this lady, she's the what Secretary of Education,
but
and she has no, she's not an educator. She's never worked in a classroom, never worked in a,
and what qualifies you to be over the FBI exactly? And
uh-huh.
what qualifies
Oh
you
my gosh.
over
It's
what? Like,
hilarious. It's pulling back the curtain and
and
showing us, oh
and
my goodness,
if
all this
there is
while we're thinking, yes.
if there's any redeemable thing, I figured it out sometime after the first 4 years.
Yes.
I was like, because at the time my family was mad because I said it. I said, no, he's showing us like that it's all
Yeah.
fake. He's showing
He's
us
showing us that it's all fake.
he's showing us that
Yeah.
that these things we're striving to do are not the things that are going to
Oh
get
yeah.
you where you really want
Don't
to be.
tell me I don't have enough experience. You don't care about that.
You don't
Don't tell
care.
me I don't have enough degrees. You don't care about that. Don't
It
don't
reminds
try to act like now. Don't try to act like you care about that.
let's not do that. It's kind of like in the scripture that comes to me, it's like stand fast in the liberty where you've been made free. Don't be
I mean,
entangled
I'm free
with
now.
bondage. Because
Free.
here, this is what you're able to do. Nobody, because it keeps going further and further. It's
Yes.
like we all ought to be free.
We all ought to be free at this point. You ought to be doing the thing you're passionate about doing, getting the knowledge, getting the education, getting the exposure to do the thing you do because you want to do it well and you want to do it the best that you possibly can, but not to impress anybody because what we realize is that's not it. That's not
And
who we're
also,
trying to impress.
not at all. And even those things that, where we think this is the step, these steps or whatever,
Mhm.
we have people, I'm sure everyone knows someone that worked for the federal government that whatever person put in the AI and said, fire all of them people that whatever. No, no.
Yes. Let me tell you, my former father-in-law used to say, um, oh man, he would say this about, now this is really awful. If you're in the medical community, please forgive us. But he would say, some of these people were a C student. You make sure you don't get a D student working on your surgery. Make sure you don't have a D student working on your, he said D is still passing. Make sure you don't have a C student working on your, doing your surgery.
Listen,
Get somebody who's had to work hard, or not had to work hard. Get somebody who's smart, basically,
exactly.
that knows what they're doing.
That knows what they're doing.
Because just because they're in there now doesn't mean that they've got the goods to be in there.
Absolutely.
And so if there's, you're right, if there's any redeeming quality,
If there's
for
any
me,
redeeming
that was
quality,
it. I said, oh, I see. It's a game.
it's a game. And
Mm-hmm.
we can there's a part of it, especially even when still looking at Priscilla. It's
Yeah.
like,
I don't
go
have to
ahead
try
and
to
be
impress things.
go on and be excellent, girl. Go on.
Yes.
Like, it's like we talked about
And
with
you
the
don't have to
other.
excuse it.
You don't.
You don't have to find a way to say, you know what I mean? You don't have to justify yourself for being great.
Just,
Or I
oh my
have to be
gosh.
great because, yeah. I have
It's
a
like,
dear friend, she and her husband, pastor, and he suffered a massive, massive stroke. And she's so tenderly caring for him as he's recovering. And she continues to pastor. Yes. And so her journey has been one that is completely different to what his journey would be if she were in recovery. You know what I mean? So he would have never been asked, "Oh, you're still gonna you're gonna you're gonna keep teaching and preaching and take care." You know what I mean? Like,
he
oh,
would have never,
y'all thought
he
that
would
her
have,
anointing was they thought her anointing came from the wedding ring. You are now anointed. They put the ring on. Honey, let me tell you something. Pastor Darlene can teach and preach. She got the word down in her and the anointing, and the hand of God is on her. Like, why would she stop?
that is, just hearing you say that, like, it's so true.
He's like, I
There
was
are
anointed when I
things,
married her. Yes.
there are so many things that the expectation is, no one would have ever expected. He would have, let me just say it this way, if the roles were reversed, he would have been
Mm-hmm.
dean, and he had done the same thing that she, like, if she's tenderly caring, they were like,
Yeah.
oh, he's such a good man. But there's an
Yeah.
expectation there for women.
Surely
There,
she's not going to carry
not,
on.
no, absolutely not. And that's the, it's, we have, I challenge myself
Yeah.
when I feel, this is just me. When I feel like something feels like bondage, a lot of times we'll
Oh
just
my
say it's
gosh.
because
Woo.
you're in sin and because you don't want to yield. It's because you don't
No,
want to yield. If
no.
you yield to the Spirit of God, God will make you right. You need to get in prayer. You need to, so
Mhm.
if you don't, it's, but I'm learning, because I remember as a younger woman in my 20s, I'll be like, well, wait, this is what I feel, just really God. Maybe
Yeah.
it's different. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm 25. Okay, maybe I'm 35. Maybe at 45. But at what point are we gonna lead, like have this thing where we're like, God, something is off here, and
Something's weird here. Yeah. And
it
and we
goes,
lean into it.
and
We
we lean
listen
into it,
and
and
say,
without
what's going
fear,
on? Mm-hmm.
people are still feeling like, oh, that's questioning God. Don't. Let me tell you, if something that the Bible says,
Talk
God has
about
not
it.
given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a
Yeah.
sound mind. If your
Yeah.
mind is not sound, if you're fearful, oh, I don't want to ask God about this because the pastor said we shouldn't be questioning, we shouldn't be whatever. Let me tell you something. The word says you keep you in perfect peace whose mind is stayed.
Yes. Stayed on
If your
him.
mind is not in perfect peace, you need to be
Mm-hmm.
going with these questions you have. And if they're related to the fact, oh, I had to catch myself because I'll just say, okay, I'll say the way I say it. If it's related to the fact that you have a vagina,
Come
and
on
that's
now.
the biggest thing that's
Yes.
throwing
And you're asking yourself, should I be doing this?
only, not
Or
not
are
because
they going to
am I
receive from me?
listen, not because am I anointed, Not because am I ready, not because did I study enough, but
Wow. Now you know. Now, when you get in that mode, when you begin to ask those questions, now you know, oh, I have poured God's oil
and
into
and
the culture of this nation, into the, I've taken a leap into rereading the book of Isaiah slowly.
wow, wow.
Messing me up. But the idea of, man, that revelation of, man, I'm unclean and I dwell among a people who are unclean. And so this idea of when we look at what is excellent and the motive behind it, not I want to be excellent because I want to demonstrate the love of God, but I want to be excellent so they'll receive from me. I want to be excellent to make up for the fact that God made me female. So if I'm very, very excellent, then they'll receive me as a woman and even me as a Black woman. But if I wasn't, then I could know a little something and be all right. But
Let me
I gotta be really, really good because I mean,
let me
look
tell
at,
you what I just heard. I just heard you say I have to make up
I
for
gotta make
not
up for it.
being fearfully and wonderfully made.
Thank you.
I gotta make up for this mistake God made
The
me.
mistake God made. And then
I
here's
got,
the deal, no matter how wonderful you are, if you're doing it for those reasons, now you are out of alignment with God.
and it's
Because
also becoming a form of like, no wonder you feel unworthy. No wonder you feel unloved. No wonder.
my
No
God.
wonder you feel
You have yet to
unacceptable
get it. You've yet to get an agreement with your creator.
about who you are. I like to tell this story sometimes. Uh, it's in different cultures, but a lot of times when words, if you do study and things like that, you'll find like my favorite word. I have this thing because I study for myself, so that's how I feel. I have this
Yeah,
thing about like people saying the fear of God. I just
yeah,
believe that because
yeah,
we're regular everyday people, and I
yeah.
hear people that the word can't say. Uh, I I've not given you a spirit of fear, perfect love casts out
Sure,
fear.
sure.
Um, and also tell you to be afraid. I think that,
Yeah,
and when I go and study other people and other interpretations and other
yeah,
translations, the word like that's often used is yira. Yira means fear, but it also means
yeah.
awe
Awe of God.
and reverence. I
Yes,
believe that when you that those of that time, because like I said, it was passing through cultures. I
yes.
believe it
And
served.
can you imagine that passing through an imperialist culture? Oh, this means
Speak
you
on
better
it.
be afraid. This
Speak
means you
on
better
it.
be afraid of God.
Okay.
The way
So
you're afraid of Caesar or
instead of
the
saying
emperor.
reverence, instead of saying the beginning of that, the reverence is the beginning of wisdom.
Yeah. Or even
Instead of
awe.
saying awe is
Yes.
the beginning of wisdom. The word that was chosen was fear. I don't believe it was accidental. I believe it was from that container because they had a choice.
Sure.
So when
Let me
we
tell
are,
you, Dr. Andrea, Dr. Mason, I did a whole study on the awe of God. I had to do 3 messages in 2 days. Or did I do 3 messages in 3 days? Anyway, it was a good weekend. I was preaching all weekend. I did a whole study, even scientifically and psychologically, that when you stand in awe of God, it regulates your physical body.
oh, you
You
going
know
to
that?
girl, don't play, don't do it. Oh
When
my
you
God.
stand in awe of God in worship and even out in nature, when you just you can calm yourself and begin to focus on the beauty, the immense love, the power,
You know
the
you in my flow now.
tenderness,
You know
the
this is me.
thoughtfulness of God. When I say it will regulate your body, that's one thing I learned. The other thing I learned, that scripture that says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, the awe of God, the beginning of wisdom. That, and you mentioned, I think, in the last episode, you can be, in 2022, when I found myself pushed out, because really what I wanted to do was inch out little by little to work for myself solely, was working for myself and working for other people for years and years. Suddenly it's like, oh man, I need to pay my bills. I need to do work. If my shoulders begin to creep up to my ears, getting anxiety, oh God, what bills are due? kids, my mom, the house. What's that noise? Any noise in the house, you're a single female, a homeowner. I would stop, go outside, take off my shoes, stand on the grass. I know that people call it grounding, but let me tell you, I was led by the Lord. I would go stand out there and remember that as long as the earth remains, there is seed time. Listen, the awe
My
of
God.
God, it would regulate my body. I would get wisdom, or I would go get, we were keeping my daughter's little dog. I'd get the little dog and go for a walk. And I would notice the carefree of this little dog, carefree of the squirrels, carefree. And I would come back, I'd have my idea. I'd end up reaching for my phone and going, okay, here's my idea. This is what I'm gonna do. And so just putting myself in those moments of awe, those are the moments that would unlock wisdom for me and say, this is what you're going to build. This is how you're going to serve your clients. This is how you're going to make yourself valuable so people will pay you and you can pay your bills. Yeah. and it all lines up to this idea that you've put in my mind now of when the gospel comes through a particular culture, how it is received. Do we change or do we change it? And then how can you be so close to God that you can taste a thing and know, no, you drop your spoon. That ain't it. That's not it. Yeah. Which is,
I am floored
man.
because when I studied that about, and because I'm very passionate about using that
Yes.
word fear, very
Yes.
passionate about the words that I use, but I never, and you know, the metaphysical for me,
Oh, yes.
outside of the
Yes.
five senses, is a thing that I focus on. It never translated as to what you just said in
Oh,
my
yeah.
head until now.
Oh, yeah.
Like
There's been
literally,
scientific studies.
and I know that, but it's like I wasn't thinking perhaps it's because that doesn't bring you to a place of alignment with God to say
Ah,
fear, the fear.
no.
But
And have you ever counseled someone who's been so
yes,
scared of God
yes,
that they can't
yes,
truly worship? They
they
can't
cannot.
commune. In his
They're
presence
afraid to
is
make a
fullness of
mistake.
joy. Oh, yes. And this surely isn't the relationship he had in mind when he said he's so loved.
And
Anyway.
that's and I just say this because I know we still have to talk about
Yeah,
the
our favorite, y'all.
the wise woman,
Our favorite is
baby.
coming
Okay,
up.
I just want to say this. I loved I this with that part, that section, just what you just said, just really touched my heart so much.
Yeah.
It's very important, and everything that we've been talking about is super, super important that
Mm-hmm.
we allow ourselves. There's as we grow and we learn, it's kind of like when we teach our kids. So in
Yeah.
some cultures, it's like you hug aunt so and so because give your auntie a hug,
Yes.
give your
Yes.
auntie a hug,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then as with mine and other kids, like now it's like, well, wait, if the baby don't want to hug you, why are you forcing yourself?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's
Uh-huh.
okay. But that's more of like these last generations,
Right,
whatever.
right, right.
Some of us have received the gospel in a way where it's like, take this, whatever. I don't, but
Yes. It doesn't feel right.
it doesn't feel good. Like, what do you
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And we were too young to
Yeah.
say, this doesn't, I don't have,
Mhm.
go over there and children should be singing,
Right.
I heard,
Training you to turn off.
to turn off that thing that's supposed to tell you when you're safe,
Yes.
that's supposed to be that internal God talking with you. And
Yeah.
a lot of times it comes back to trusting that part of you. A lot of times, if
Yes.
someone has been violated or anything, it's often because that part of them had been turned off. And
Yeah.
they were like, but I don't, I guess this is okay. I
Yeah.
guess,
Yes.
guess it's okay.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we
Because
take
you've
the
been taught
gospel,
comply, 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 comply. Never question. And
never
I'm not
question.
going to explain it to you.
And girls, even though boys, because I have all sons and no
Particularly.
daughters,
Mm-hmm.
okay? girls are really in that space. Then on top of that, now you're cultivated and conditioned. I've been married for over 30 years, known her for
Mm-hmm.
35, and you're
Yeah.
conditioned that one day you'll yield it all to a man. And
Won't
then
they?
I and you know, and he's gonna be God's person, and you pray for him. If he's
Uh-huh.
unbelieving, if some you pray for him. Once
Yes.
again, and hey, this is not against no, hey, do what you're gonna do. I'm
No.
just saying
Yes.
how whoever's listening, I'm not speaking against nothing. I
No.
like to remind people it says submitting yourselves one to another before it ever
One to
said for her to submit
another.
to you, to the man.
Yes.
Okay, so you just practicing yielding this autonomy, yielding this autonomy. And
Yes.
because of the container we've received the gospel in, we
My
consistently
God.
have opportunities to see where we should be yielding as women. We should be listening. We should not only not question God, but
My
you don't
God.
question your husband.
You
You
don't,
don't
and
question
on your leadership,
your
you do what I say.
leadership.
And
Oh,
then
that's
and then you're deemed as good, and I'm patting myself on the head. Then you're
a good
deemed as
job.
good. Good
Good.
job. Oh yeah,
I'm
she's good. She's good.
she's
Really like her.
and we
Let me
want
tell
so
you,
much the approval. We want to
we
hear them call our
do.
name over the pulpit. We
We
want to say,
do.
I want to thank Sister so and so. She has been faithful,
Yes.
and that we let it be our reward when we go and we're by ourselves.
We say this is not enough.
This doesn't feel like
This doesn't
for
feel
God
right.
so loved.
Yeah. Why don't I feel it? And do you know how many women have wrestled with that? Because you feel like something must be wrong with me. I
Me,
must have a rebellious nature.
I I
What's
won't.
wrong with me? I want to partner with him. Like this woman was partnered with her husband. I want to partner with him, but then I'm told that I should like I
And
should do
where do
I
we
should do
learn that?
everything he says.
See, this is one of those things where we have to look at the nature of Christ. Like look at
Yes.
it. Like
Yeah.
don't just
Look
take
at
the
the
one.
freedom that he's
Look,
all about freedom. And he's all about you choosing.
if it was about the woman would have got
You don't
stoned.
choose. Right. Then
She
she
would have
wouldn't have
got
got stoned.
stoned. Okay.
He
If
would
it
have
was
said, well, you get what you get. I hope you
a,
enjoyed it because you're about to get killed
you're
over
gonna
it.
get this, they're entitled to do this to you. My encouragement is tap back into that thing that, that little girl, she could not say, I don't want to hug Uncle so and so.
Mm-mm.
She could not say it, but you
She
get to
couldn't.
say, this does not feel right.
This doesn't
I
feel
need
right.
to sit with the
This
God on
doesn't feel
this.
like in your presence is fullness of joy,
Oh,
and at your right hand are pleasure forevermore. This fear that you're teaching me to fear doesn't feel like that. But
and you
awe and
and
reverence and respect, because if I have reverence and respect for him, I'm going to respect his choices about me. I'm going to believe him when he says I'm beautiful. I'm going to believe him when he says I'm worthy.
my heart
Hmm.
is so full.
Ah, I'm so
Okay,
glad.
okay.
Are we ready
These
for our final girl?
let's
Let me
get
tell
her
you, I love this lady.
because baby, this is the one
It's
for all of us that have ever felt like we were out there and nameless.
this
Huh?
woman. I love this woman. I'm like, Jasmine, where did you find this lady? Because I have to admit, like, I don't think I've
I,
ever read
I
or
don't think
studied her story.
I don't remember her story. I don't remember the story of a head being thrown over a wall. I don't.
No, I
Maybe
think I would
got
have remembered
mixed.
that.
Yeah, I think maybe it got mixed in with this war, that war, this whatever. But I don't remember that a
Listen,
sister like this. I was like,
no. So literally it says, this is what the carousel says if you find it on social media. She negotiated peace and literally saved her entire city. Emotional maturity plus strategic communication can stop chaos. And I love emotional maturity because I can't tell you how many times I wanted to be upset. And our older sister said to me, it's not a big deal. I remember one time I was going to quit my job. I was going to
don't
quit
you
my
get me
job.
started. Don't you
And a
get me
lady
started
that
on
was,
that.
a lady, her name was Mary. Mary, if you out there, you know who you are. Your last name starts with an H. She said to me, you going to let this devil run you out of the place God put you? Was like, oh. She said, you better stand firm, show up, do your job, go home. What you talking about leaving? She said, what? Why is that so important to you? That's emotional maturity. When you want to flip out and somebody that is not just older, emotionally mature is able to say, oh, don't get upset because you're not going to hear God when you're upset. But because she was able to have emotional maturity, I'm going to put an equal sign there and say stability. Then she was able to do strategic communication.
Read that passage. I love
All
hearing
right.
it. Hers
Let's,
is amazing. Hers is I would have loved to see this one in Sunday school, but
I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me find her right here because when I say, I was talking to my team about this beautiful woman. We're going to find her in 2 Samuel 20:14 through 22. And they had all kind of visuals in their head of how they visualized this awesome lady. Okay, so this was a situation where Sheba passed through all the tribes of Israel to Abel Beth Makkah and through the entire region of the Bichrites. This is these names they get you. I'm gonna read this so y'all just buckle up and get
it's
ready.
good, y'all. It's good.
Okay, so all the troops with Joab came and besieged Sheba in Abel. So Sheba was on the run. Joab and his army was after Sheba. Sheba runs into a city called Abel. And so what Joab does is he's like, well, we're going to surround the city and we're going to besiege the city because the guy we're after is inside of your city. They built a siege ramp, y'all. So they built a ramp up to your city and stood it against the outer fortifications. So here they are while they were bringing the battering wall to bring it down. They're about to bring down all the stuff you've built around your city to
They're
protect.
about to tear stuff up.
They're about to really just say it like that. They're about to tear stuff up. You have a whole army surrounded it. They built this battering ramp. They're bringing the thing up because they're going to break it all down. And a wise woman, no name, Miss Jenkins, like who was she? A wise woman called from the city. And I love what she says. She says, listen.
Hey, wait a minute, hold on.
Wait, what is this?
What's going on?
Thank you. She says, listen. Then she says, tell Joab to come here so I can speak to him. What I love about this, if we look at it contextually and culturally, as you have been helping me do, this was not the day where the lady would say to an army, listen, tell him to come here. She didn't go to him. She didn't come out the wall with waving a white flag, saying, wait, come in peace. Don't shoot me. I just want to talk to your leader. She said, listen, tell him to come here so I can speak with him. He went to her and she asked, are you Joab? He said, yes, ma'am.
Now you know that's true. You know she. Are you Leela's boy? You Joab, right?
Imagine, like, I have an auntie who's going to be 99 in April. I can just imagine her because everybody she meet, she want to know who your parents, where you go to church. I remember you. Are you Joash? You Joab? He said, I am. She said, listen to what your servant has to say. Listen to the strategy behind her. Because strategic communication, it can't be strategic if there's not a strategy. He says, I'm listening, which to me is another huge honor. I'm listening. He didn't say, I'm working here. He could have gone straight Brooklyn. Hey, lady, I'm working here. Can't you see? We're trying to get stuff done. He said, I'm listening. So everything had to pause while he listened to this wise woman who has no first or last name written. She continues, long ago, they used to say, get your answer at Abel. And that settled it. Now, Dr. Mason.
I wish
You
you
know
had my
what she's
long
trying to
hair.
say?
I wish I had my locks. I just shake them.
Honey, I'm whipping my hair like Little Willow used to whip it.
Yeah.
Long ago, they used to say, get your answer at Abel, and that settled it. You could have come for me for answers. And she was also saying, I'm about to give you some answers. Then she says, we are peaceful and faithful in Israel. You are trying to destroy a city that is a mother in Israel. We've been here. I mean, isn't it? How can a city be described as a mother? Don't you love
In
that?
Israel. Just keep
I
reading because I'm coming. I'm coming.
love
Just,
this.
just
I love it.
it's
And then she says to him, this is the question. And I love, because I train second chair leaders on how to approach your visionary, how to approach your busy CEO, how to approach your leader. And you love it when you begin with some history and you end with a question. She says, why do you want to swallow up the Lord's inheritance? Because that's what you're doing. I don't know if you realize it. I know you think you just after the bad guy. You out here chasing criminals, but you about to swallow up something that is so important to God. We are a mother in this nation. Ma'am.
ma'am, ma'am. Oh, I have so much.
Ma'am.
Okay, kid, go read. Keep going. Read.
Okay, okay. He said, this is what he replied. Far be it from me. Basically, that no. That's not what I'm trying to do. He said, far be it from me to swallow up or destroy. That is not the case. A man named Sheba, son of Bechri, from the hill country of Ephraim, has lifted up his hand against the king. He lifted up his hand against David, and over this one man, hand over this one man, and I'll withdraw from your city. Basically, she said, "You about to swallow up the Lord's inheritance." Oh no, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just chasing.
Wrong
I'm just
him.
chasing this one guy.
We're
So
just
the
trying to get
woman
sheep.
said, hand over this one man, and I'll withdraw from the city. I love her response. The woman said to Joab, his head will be thrown to you from the wall. Back up off my wall.
Listen,
Back
listen.
up. It continues to read, the woman went to all the people with her wise advice. And they cut off the head of Sheba, son of Bechri, and threw it to Joab. So he sounded the trumpet, bum, 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 and his men dispersed from the city, each returning to his own home. I mean, she stopped the whole thing. And Joab went back to the king of Jerusalem, probably with the guy's head in a bag. 2 Samuel 20, 14, 22.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Every time I read it, maybe because they
Nobody's
didn't.
ever preached this. How come they don't preach that on
Maybe
Mother's
because they didn't saturate us with this coming up and stuff. Every time I read it, I see something different.
Day?
Every
What are
single
you seeing today? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Mm-hmm.
we're,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking again. The first thing I just started, I like this one so much. Even the whole, we talked before about the culture. They literally,
Yes.
we're talking about the container in a wall. I want to say to
Yes.
you, if you're in a place where your ministry cannot flourish because you are a woman, that's
Ma'am.
just a container.
Yes.
That's just one container because obviously in these walls right here, they didn't have a problem hearing from a woman.
They didn't have a problem. So where did this mess? Anyway, we can ask them
Meaning
questions later.
that's a city.
Yes.
So a city that is a mother in
A
Israel.
mother in Israel. Our city is a mother here.
And then
Peaceful, teaching, nurturing,
yes, what is a mother?
all of the things. When you think about get your answers here and that settles it, I
A
mean,
mother.
my goodness, what
This
a
is what we need
beautiful
to be
place.
teaching on Mother's Day and Women's Days.
Yes, your
What
whole
is a
city.
mother?
Your city was feeding, your city was teaching, your city was bringing correction. It was setting a standard.
It was a
My,
place of peace.
it was a place of peace. I go to my mama's house and we think about all the things you expect when you go in your mama's house.
I mean, think about that. Just think about that.
Yeah.
When we, and if I was cynical, which I'm not, but I would say, well, I wonder why they didn't talk more about this one.
I wonder why.
I wonder why they never
Mhm.
preached or taught
Yeah,
about
because
this
we didn't
life.
pour ourselves into to see how can we change and become like the kingdom rather than pour the kingdom into our container and make it reshape it to our comfort. Because
Because
you can't stand and preach this and
no,
have a board of directors with no females on it. You can't stand and preach
you
this
can't
and
do
have
that.
60 to 70% of your church women, but none of your ordained ministers are women.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. You
And
can't
so
do
it's the
it.
reason why, like, when, and I'm going to continue to just say, we're arguing about things and we call it apologetics. I
Yes.
know we just, it's apologetics. And then we go based on the doctrine, Calvinism, Arminian. I'm a this, I'm a that. These were men, it's named after men that existed. And it
Yes.
was during the Protestant Reformation.
Come on.
These were Western European men
Yes. Yes.
who had gotten from all, like we said, Greek
Oh,
and Rome.
yes.
So
Yes.
there, there was a container that they poured
Mhm.
their beliefs into that was attached to their culture.
Yeah. And because they didn't want to have to shift the shape of the culture.
Because that's what's required, and that's what the pushback is now.
Yeah.
That's
Because what would we lose? I am.
there are some that feel like, hey, men have lost out since women started being able to work. Man,
Right.
women, we've lost out.
Yes.
There's some because
Because
it's a
come
shift.
on. Come on.
So if I wanted to be just real out there, I would say, some aspects of the gospel, people will say, like, I'm gonna say it right. People will
Say it
say,
right.
like, oh, if you just don't want to stop sinning. That's why you don't want to do what the Bible says. You just don't
Uh-huh.
want to stop whatever. Is it
That's what they
possible? Is it
uh,
possible that just as much as some people might be dealing with fornication or this or that, don't
uh-huh.
want to let it go, that it's possible that some people are stuck in a hierarchy between
Yes.
men and women and they just don't want to let it go.
And they
So they,
don't want to let it go because it's
they
working to
don't
my
want to let it,
advantage.
because it's I want it. I want it.
Let
I
me tell
want it.
you, I'm gonna,
I
I'm gonna
want it.
tell you, I'm gonna tell you an uplifting story. I love
Go
this.
for it.
I have a friend that hosts a conference every year in St. Louis, and she's done it for many, many years. I think she's preparing to wrap it, but she years ago, her pastor he was rich in age, had lived many, many decades, right? And when she went to him and said she wanted to do something for women, and it was all about empowering, empowered to fill in the blank. So every year it was about empowered to. You're getting power from God to do something. And I'm thinking, okay, well, you're gonna go to your pastor about it. This man got up at her conference and said, I'm so happy to see women step into the power God gave them. It's been exhausting trying to hold these women back. This is what the church needs. He began to say to her, carry on, keep doing this. The more you step up, you're going to step up to where the men have been, and we'll work together. This man had set, now folks would call it progressive. I call it kingdom.
Hey,
And that was the last I heard of him. This man gave this basically dissertation and then went to sleep and is with the Lord. And she carried on empowering women for years. But when folks hear women's empowerment, when they hear feminism, when they hear those kinds of things, they think because if you've been centered, anytime you're not centered, you feel injured. How?
exactly.
Oh,
Yes.
there's an injury, there's a hurt. You feel like you've been injured. Nobody hurting you just because we're lifting her up. Because it's actually the injury is that you've been working without what you've been working with half of what you got, sir, ma'am, at the head
It
of
was
your
never
organization.
sustainable in the
It was
first.
never sustainable
It's like
because it wasn't the design.
it was never the design. And so it's like people say, what you mean I gotta talk to her now? I provide, I protect,
Uh-huh.
Whatever what you mean. I gotta do. My daddy took care of my mama like this, and my granddaddy took care of my mama like this, and
Ma'am,
they didn't do all that talking stuff. But now
ma'am.
she has options, and she doesn't just need you to protect and
Yes.
hide and like.
Yes.
Not saying she doesn't, but maybe she doesn't just need that from you.
Right.
What else do
And
you have
it's
to offer?
causing you to see your value differently. You,
Because,
wow.
because in a system that is out of whack and not in alignment with what was intended, everybody
Yes.
is mistreated. Everybody,
Everybody. You think you've been on top, and we think they've been on top. Think
everybody.
about it. How many times if we're thinking they don't want it to change because it's good for them? It actually isn't good for
It
them.
is not.
It ain't good for you to be without me, brother. You need a lady at the table. It's
It's
not
not
good for
good for
you.
you. All
It's
you have to
not
do
good
is
for
look
you.
around us and
And
see
yep,
what's going on and say something is missing.
something's
Something,
missing.
something
Because it
was
causes you to lower your standard. And you'll say, well, if I just do these couple of things and P's standing up, I'll be the boss. But if I
I'm
but if
gonna
it's
say this. Look. I'm gonna say this. Slightly related. It's related, but I want to make this point, and then because we're talking about this,
yes,
whenever we in alignment with what you're saying, it's not good for anybody.
no, it's better
Patriarchal
for us
stuff.
all. Yes, it's not good
It,
for
it,
anybody.
it, it, it doesn't work for anybody. It teaches our boys that they're not supposed to feel at a very young age.
At a very young age.
Okay,
Yep.
it teaches um, girls not to tolerate men's emotions.
Yes.
When we are just looking at men for provision, and that's
Oh
all
my
you do.
word. We don't receive them as real people.
They're not real. And so then when you realize that, and I'm saying this as a woman who's been married for over 3 decades, I'm here,
Yeah.
I love him, he's my favorite guy and everything. But
Yeah.
part of what we had to work through was, even I think we were in South Africa, all
Yeah.
around the world, they're like, men are like very easy. You feed them, take care of
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're easy. Don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to tell my husband, I said, do you know what it said about y'all? And he was like, what are you talking about? I said,
Yeah.
y'all are deemed very basic. And
Oh,
he was
basic, simple.
very simple. And he was like, I'm not simple. I'm not. I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know this is what's being taught. Like,
I've heard that too. Have absolutely heard that.
and
There's just one. It's just if you know one, you know them all. They're the
you know them
same.
all. And I
Oh
told him,
yeah.
and it wasn't, it's, it's, it's so demeaning.
It
And I know
is.
like we're often so accustomed to saying, hey, women are whatever. Yes, but do you know how basic you're treating a male
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
to not
Yeah.
honor them and then want to say that while you are sitting there with cognitive dissonance, you don't think that he has anything worth anything. And then
Come
you're
on.
told to follow him and to be led by him. Do you
And wait,
think
wait. Then behind closed doors, you're told how to make it look like you're following, but you're really
you're really
controlling. You're
controlling
told to
and
be the neck.
manipulating it?
Yeah, you're told to be the neck.
Wrong.
He's the head, but you're the neck. You can turn it. You can.
It's manipulation.
Oh
It's
my
not working
God.
for any of us.
It's
So
not working for anybody.
it's not working for anybody because none of us are fully being who Creator designed us to be.
Lord
It
have
does
mercy.
not work for
It
us
does.
to pretend to be small. It does not
No.
work to give someone credit for something that they are not doing. For us to not speak truth and say, this is how I feel. We're also taught, don't tell them that. Don't
Don't tell
emasculate.
him that.
The truth is
Mhm.
said to emasculate him. Whether you're
Yes.
talking about sexually, whether you're talking about
Oh yeah.
emotionally, do not
Oh
tell him the
yes.
truth.
Oh no.
How
Oh
can
no.
he
Don't tell
be
him the
his?
truth. Just
How can
pretend like
he
everything's great.
just pretend? Because this whole thing is rigged. It does not work.
It
So while
doesn't.
you're thinking about, oh no, I can't do that, think about it. We're the mothers. We're the
Yeah.
ones. This wise woman said, "We are a mother in Israel."
They said this city.
Is
You
a
are you trying to destroy a city that is a mother in Israel? And the
mother.
value of that.
The value. This is literally Who the first teacher, the first healer is the mother, the one who carries in the womb. That
Yeah.
you are the very first thing, a mother.
My God.
You are the woman, whether you
Mm-hmm.
birth them yourself or not.
Or
You're
not.
literally the first one feeding the
Yes.
next generation, the
Yes.
sons and daughters.
Yes.
So a lot of these thoughts are coming from you. We are
Yeah.
perpetuating things that
We're
don't serve
perpetuating the
us.
thing. Oh, yeah, that don't serve us at all.
So when we are shrinking and we're telling our girls one thing and the boys another thing,
Mm-hmm.
and we're
Mm-hmm.
not speaking, then how about when we don't speak, we're allowing things to continue to decay?
Yes. Oh, yeah. We're sit somewhere. The thing is being said. You don't agree with it, but you're not going to say anything.
You're not going to
Now,
say anything.
now your
Not just
integrity is,
I'm going to go along with it.
I'm going to go along with it. Now my integrity is out of whack because what I do and what I say is not what I mean.
And that's how is that linked to identity? How can you say one thing over here and it's not aligned with who you know God is
Who you
saying
know God
and
is
what
saying.
God is saying? We're looking at things that we say aren't getting better.
Mm-hmm. And we
They're battering
wonder,
down the wall, the city wall. They had seized
man.
it.
And they don't care who they had to destroy to get to this guy because
So
he was on a mission from the king. This guy raised his hand against the king.
the
And so
king,
we must destroy him. And no one is saying that what you're trying to do is wrong. She didn't dishonor his mission and say, I don't care about David and nobody else. She didn't say that.
she never said it.
Never said it.
She
So
never said
I'm
it.
not telling you what to do. What I'm saying is you don't have to destroy me. And I'm letting you know, hey, what you're doing is you're about to devour the Lord's inheritance. What? He said, oh, no, no, no. Now, could you imagine if he had done the thing and then God had punished him or maybe sent the prophet and said, the Lord said, because you devoured my intelligence, my inheritance, right? I'm coming for you. He would have been like, nobody told me. Why? Because we
Nobody.
against the woman. So
And
it was
so,
working
like,
in his favor. She wasn't working against him. And
exactly.
that's the
Oh
thing
my
I think we
God.
miss. She wasn't working against him to say, hey, 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 listen, listen. She
Let me tell you,
said, listen.
the more you talk and the more we discuss this, the more I am certain why they never taught us this.
Because the partnership, the honor in both directions.
The,
And here's the deal. This is what I love, Dr. Mason. She got the job done.
she got it done. Let me tell you, we talked about before when we were talking how a lot
Honey.
of time this passivity, docile, my research had to do
She
with
didn't
the
say, well,
seven
don't
genders.
kill him. Don't
Don't,
kill him.
don't kill them. Don't kill them. We act as if being a woman, like one of the challenges of being in a culture like
Yes.
one we're in is that it's boy and girl, and this is the only
Right.
thing. When really there are dynamics of nurturing in men, and there's
Yes.
assertiveness in women. It is
Yes.
all in there. I often say I know that to be true because when you're in the birthing room, there's
Honey.
a point where you have to push, and if you don't, it goes from
Mm-hmm. Breathing. And
say
then you got to
no.
put that chin down
You got to put that chin down. They say no, we
and do
need you
what
to
you got to do.
push.
And do
That
what you got to do.
assertiveness comes through.
Oh,
There's
yes,
it's
it
the
does.
balance of it. And
Yes.
so here she is. Here she is, knowing how to speak up with honor
No.
going both ways. And
Going
while
both
we're taught, what does it mean to be a woman? It means to be,
silent.
you know, quiet and
Win him
gentle.
over with your behavior.
But win him, win him. Meanwhile, she said, "Oh, we'll send the wallow, the
She
head
said,
over the wall.
uh-huh. She said, his head will be thrown to you from the wall.
We'll send it. We'll
You don't
send it."
even, you don't have to come in. You ain't got to break nothing up, stomping
So,
all through everybody's garden.
so you mean to tell me?
She sure went back to all her people.
So you mean to tell me this wise woman? Because that's what they called her. It's
That's
not
what
just
they
me.
called her.
That's
That's
what
what
they
the
said. They didn't
Bible
say a
says.
woman.
No, that's what the
It said a
Bible
wise
says. I
woman.
love it. A
Okay,
wise woman.
just
Hmm.
checking.
Yes.
She can handle her business and
Yes.
be nurturing and be and
Yes.
mothering and whatever, and
Yes.
still
Got it done.
get it done.
That head came over that wall and they never broke it down. They never had to come in. They never trampled anybody's garden. They never, I could just
Because
see
what was
a
she
whole
thinking?
military thing coming
She
through.
said,
Oh my
Jamal
God.
and them house over here, they about to tear up Jamal
Yes.
and the Browns is over there. They about to tear
Okay.
up everything.
They're about to tear up everything in here. And it doesn't take all, you don't have to do all
It
that.
don't take all that.
And you can still take his head back to the king. You're going to get your job done. And what I really love that, so he sounded the trumpet, the men dispersed from the city, each returning to his home. And Joab went back to the king in Jerusalem. Everybody went their own way. Win, win. Dr.
And
Grace,
notice he didn't say, woman, stop talking to me.
he didn't.
That's what makes me think that it's more of the containers that we often are seeing. There should
Yes.
be a nuance. We should be able to read scriptures and
Yeah.
acknowledge, even Paul, if he was like, this is the church in Ephesus or Corinth or whatever, every time he said something, do y'all
Mhm.
realize that was somebody's container? Can we take
Yes.
that? Can we take that for what that is? That was
Yes.
a container, and
Yes.
let it be a container that
Thank
does
you.
not negate what God was doing with women in other places.
Come
That he
on.
was dealing with a situation happening in that
In
container,
that particular container.
and
But the
not that we
reason
have.
why we don't want to listen, there's been other things that have had to be explained in the Bible, and we take that explanation and we move on. But we're not that dense. We're smarter than that. We can receive the fact that, oh no, this was in this situation to deal with a particular issue there. If that's not you and you don't have that issue,
Then
then
it's not you.
it's not you. Because God's not going to say one thing and do another. Because the same guy that wrote this also wrote to folks that were having churches in their homes. How could she have a church in her home and not be uh, teaching the men and the women? She wasn't just having a church in her home that was a church for women only. So, but why the reason why we want to make it a thing, we want to make it fit in our container is because
And
that's what's comfortable to us.
and
And
it's what
change is change.
this
Yeah.
container, particularly in the United States
Oh
specifically,
yes, my God.
this container, remember, like we talked about earlier, it
Ooh,
doesn't have a history of
no,
women leading. It does
no,
not.
no.
You would think that somehow the brand USA, and it's so progressive, in our
Yeah,
minds we think that, but it really is
but
not.
we really are not.
We really are
And
not.
I think this is such a season of reckoning for us.
Absolutely.
And I would even say it's a season of recognizing yourself. Have you ever looked in walk past a mirror and go, "Oh, that's me. I didn't know I look like that." We think we're looking one way, we're not.
Not.
We were thinking that we were a thing, and we were so proud about that. And now we realize, no, you're
No,
not that.
you're
You're
not.
not about liberty and justice for all. You're not. Let's just
No.
admit it. We're not about that. Because when we had an opportunity to have something competent and qualified, we didn't want it because it didn't look like what we wanted it to look like. And if we could
And
say, we could make excuses all day long. We could say it was
all
the
day.
economy, but all the economists were saying, but this plan is better. His plan is not the best plan. So you didn't vote for the economy. You didn't. But we
And
don't want to recognize it. Like, oh,
and
but
it's
it was this. No, it wasn't. Because if you did your
no, it wasn't.
homework, it's like you don't want to, it's like we need national therapy
Like
to
woo
bring us
woo,
woo
woo
woo.
woo
Let's
woo.
realize, oh, yeah, that's who we are. We are
Because when you
still racist
realize
and
it,
misogynist. We are. Mhm.
God,
We are.
can
Let's
we?
just admit it.
But when
And
we
then we
are
can get healed.
then we can get healed when we're willing
Mhm.
to recognize it and acknowledge it. Then we
Mhm.
can stop spending our good Bible study time trying to justify why God we feel the
Yeah,
call of God on our lives. But the
man.
pastor said maybe the season, and I'm not telling people to go and be, I'm saying
I tell
There's a
folks to go on a
container.
regular.
Lord, I try so hard with this one.
I do. Come to me, Fancies. I'm asking where it could be your soil, honey. It could be your soil. I'm just saying.
We are sitting here.
And if
We
you
are
have
trying.
good soil, there's no need for you to be offended at me. But if you, I mean, I'm just saying, praise the Lord.
That's what's so amazing because, and even for me, I've loved this discussion with you
Yeah.
because I don't get to talk about it the way I want with someone that's
No.
expansive in nature. But what you gave me today was a word and a way to say what I've been trying to say as I
Mm,
study how the
yeah.
word has gotten to us. We know
Yeah.
the general stuff and we're like, oh, this Bible,
Yeah.
but as
Yeah.
I look at why would they translator choose not awe but fear?
Yeah.
But awe is so expansive
It
because
is.
they were not expansive. That's why.
They weren't, and they weren't taught to do that. They were
They
taught to fear. So they're
they were
assuming
taught fear. The container was fear.
yes.
Just
Yes.
like for here in the States, the
Yes.
container is fear.
The container is
Like,
fear.
take it in. The container is misogyny. Take it in.
Yes.
The container that the
Yes.
gospel has been poured into is not
Yes.
expansive. It look at what it is. Stop spending your energy and tears at
Come
night
on.
trying to justify your existence and your
Right.
worthiness in the kingdom. It
Yes.
is a container. And guess
Thank
what?
you.
If you go to another country that has a different container, guess
You're
what?
going to say, this is real freedom. I never knew.
Or if you are, as a woman especially, one who doesn't realize your position like the wise woman that says, we
Yes.
are a mother in Israel. We are a
Yes.
nurturer. We're one who teaches. We're one who does. If you
Yes.
don't recognize your role in perpetuating the patriarchy and misogyny and perpetuating all the cognitive dissonance and stuff
Come
that
on.
says,
Right. I didn't
you're
know.
going,
I didn't
you,
know. Yes, you
you'll keep
did.
going. Once you know, you'll go to the next country. And instead of looking and saying, oh, I didn't know, you'll be looking and saying, they're in sin. They're not right.
Oh, oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's not
Oh
right.
my goodness.
That's
Yeah.
not right. You
Yeah.
get to decide, but you don't have to go somewhere else. Just be willing to look and say, you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to, like, for me personally, I was dealing with that kind of thing some years ago.
Yes.
And I heard Spirit say, lean into the love. What feels like
Ooh, what feels like the love of
an
God?
irrevocable love, a love, like what feels like love. And at first I was scared to do that. I'm be honest, because I was like, that's just gonna give me a lot of rejection and abandonment and
Yeah.
whatever other
And you
issues
didn't
I'm
want to
dealing with.
lead you didn't want to lead yourself into some type of
Ex-
error. Yeah.
exactly. And so, but I started leaning into love because even the word says, they'll know that you're
They'll
disciples by
know that you're
the
my
love you have.
ma'am.
Yeah. So that was, I started trusting. I'm just going to lean into the love, lean into the
Yeah,
love. And when you start doing that, you get more in touch with God because God is love.
you
You
do.
know, love is
You
patient,
do.
love is kind. Focus
Yes.
in on the love. When you hear somebody, like people like to come down by, hey, this is tough love. It's gonna be, it's okay. It happens. I'm not saying, but if everything is just always tough love to you, if everything is fear provoking, be careful. You're on the edge.
Oh yeah.
You're going to hell any
Oh
minute now.
yeah. Oh
Listen,
yeah. Yeah.
question.
Like the God who loves you would sit back and just watch you get lost and wander and never speak to you, never say, "Hey, this is the way," because he's already promised you will hear a voice in your ear
It'll
saying,
tell you
"This is the
this
way."
is the way. Walk in it.
Come
This is the way. Go left.
on. This is the
This
way.
is the way. This is the
Walk
way.
therein.
And notice
And
it's
until
not
we
it
disciple
said
people
in
to
your
trust.
ear. It
Come
said in
on.
your
It's
ear.
in
It's
your
not
ear.
enough for you to be doing what your family said, what your
No.
sister does, your best friend forever, or whatever.
Yes.
And even if it has to do with your spouse, my husband
Yes.
and I are two individual people. I
Yes.
love one of the things I love about it is when we are in focus with God for ourselves, and
Yeah.
somehow God gets us to the same place.
Yes. It
I'm
works,
over
doesn't it?
yonder, he's over there, and somehow God
And
is
somehow we come
faithful.
together.
God is faithful. You do not
So
have to live in fear of your calling.
Yes.
Fear to speak up and say,
Yes.
listen, listen,
Listen, listen. Where is Joab? Bring him to me
speak
so I can speak to
up.
him. Because
I
I
mean, you
see
know,
what
look,
you're
if you
trying
don't
to
mind,
accomplish, but you're doing this in the process. And that, oh my word, this is a great place to bring it together. I see what you're trying to accomplish. But if you are leaving out women, if you're silencing women because you don't want to upset the current culture, you about to devour the Lord's inheritance. You are about to mistreat a mother in Israel. All while you think you're doing the work of God. But if we partner together, we can get the head of our enemy. You can take
beautiful.
it back to the king. You can be the one. You ain't got to ride me back. As the old folks say, you ain't got to carry me back and let the king know that I was the one who was the one who cut off the head. Brother, we'll give it to you. Take it in a bag. Show it off. Let the Lord applaud you. But what you're not going to do is devour up the mother.
That's
Man,
a whole nother way of looking at one setting 1,000 a flight and two 10,000.
damn. My God. Dr. Mason, this Bible study, I really hope folks get this Bible
Because
study.
we did good with the notes. We had the little point, talking points in the actual Bible study. It's amazing.
Well, what's going to happen is folks are going to go through this Bible study and have the same types of, they're going to have they're not going to say what we say. They're going to see through their
There,
personal culture as you described it.
yes,
They're going to bring their experiences, their exposure, their expertise. Because I did
yes.
not know that Alexandria was the place where people came to. I just knew the man knew his stuff. He knew the Lord and he could preach. And that's the last person you want to correct. Or is it the person you want to correct? But here we come in the middle and say, hey, I want to have dinner with you. Oh my God, it's so good. So
So good.
how can we recap? Over these last two episodes, we've talked about these four amazing ladies. And all I can say is thank you to my team. Jasmine, she's phenomenal. We talked about Hulda, the brilliant consultant. We talked about the midwives.
Shiphrah
You,
Puah, yeah.
you can be in a thing and not bow to the thing. Let your awe of God get you out of things that seem so complicated or even concrete. We talked about Priscilla, who chose to honorably bring correction over the I'm gonna bust you out on social media for likes or and over the I'm not gonna say anything because I'm a woman, you know? And then of course we talked about our favorite, the wise woman of Abel. My team said they saw her in a house dress and some slippers.
Yes, ma'am. She
Because
did. And
her lamb was still roasting over the fire, and she had to
it was.
pause. She had to pause and go deal with this because she was making her meal. And so they had so much fun with her that well, listen, the fact that she said, listen,
Listen, wait, because there was definitely noise if they got battering rams and stuff.
they about
She was
to
like, wait a minute.
pull up. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me. You are, I call you the feminist theologian. Um, but you're really, I love that you study for yourself, that you do your research. And it's been my honor to know you all these many years, and I'm not going anywhere. You're stuck with me now. And we'll put all of your things, you know how they do, all the brilliant
Yeah.
editors. We're gonna
Like,
put
we're
all
going
your
to put it below in
we'll
the
put
description.
all your things in the show notes. And what I'm the bonus is written this time, y'all. So go to Patreon, the links in the bio or the links in the show note, and you can download this Bible study. Gather your sisters, gather your friends, get some tea or some pizza or whatever you like, and have these conversations and encourage each other to lead well. Any final thoughts, my dear?
Thank you for having me and sharing your platform. Um, just remember, you all, these are containers. The
Yes.
word is available. 100 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
20% of the population could read. So everyone has been transmitting.
Wow.
Most people have been hearing the word and not necessarily sitting with it themselves. So it is a privilege to do so, to sit,
Yeah.
to ask the questions that perhaps our grandmothers and grandfathers did not ask or know
Yeah.
to ask or were able to. But we get to do that. And we get to be the container that the Holy Spirit will dwell
Yes.
in. We
Yeah.
get to be the temple, and we get to be the very expression of God.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Yeah.
the expression of God.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Thank you, love.
Thank you.
Catch me on social media at PR The Builder. Visit me online at pamross.com. Catch you next time.